First love doesn't start with a kiss. It starts with a shy glance, a stumble, a bad joke that lands anyway. It's not about being ready, it's about feeling something before you even understand it. Gumball and Penny weren't built on fairy tale romance. Their story is about masks, jealousy, missteps, and forgiveness. And somehow, that's exactly what makes it beautiful. This is what Gumball teaches us about young love. Before Gumball and Penny ever became a couple, there was tension, not dramatic or scripted, but the kind that lives in awkward moments.
It won't matter in 24 hours! Kiss me, Penny!
It's the kind of tension you only recognize looking back, long after it's passed. Like in the episode The End, where Gumball half-jokingly proposes to Penny during what he thinks are their final hours. It's a throwaway gag on the surface, but underneath, he's testing the waters, seeing how Penny might react to the idea of them becoming something more. The real story of young love starts a little later, in The Pressure. It begins with harmless teenage posturing. The girls pretend they have long-distance boyfriends. You know, the classic, he goes to a different school, you wouldn't know him.
Wow!
The boys act like girls are gross and make a relatable pact, pals before gals. Then the two groups collide. Penny asks Gumball to walk her to the cafeteria. Sweet, vulnerable, and a clear sign she's interested. Gumball refuses, trying to prove to Darwin and the others that he doesn't care about girls. But we already know how this story goes. Gumball wants to act cool for his friends. Penny wants him to take initiative so she doesn't have to spell it all out. They're both caught in that emotional limbo where everything matters and nothing is said. Toward the end of the episode, Gumball climbs up to the treehouse where the girls are. Suddenly, the flirting is open and obvious.
Such a beautiful day, Gumball.
Yeah, but not as beautiful as your antlers.
The background fades, it's just Gumball and Penny now, and when they're about to kiss for the first time, the treehouse starts falling and Gumball ends up kissing Darwin instead. Pals before gals after all. Bummer. But even with the missed kiss, the emotional moment was real. They're closer than they were by the start. And by the party, that tension becomes more tangible. Rachel throws a high school party. Gumball and Darwin can only go if they bring dates. Gumball clearly wants to ask Penny, but now Gumball is too shy to admit that he's admiring Penny.
Aw, Penny? Oh, no. I just like her as a friend.
So instead of being honest, he takes Tina Rex. Penny brings Hector, and what should have been a night of fun becomes an awkward collision of bad choices. But it doesn't end in disaster. Gumball and Penny talk it out. They admit they still want to be around each other, and just when it looks like they're about to kiss, like any young love, it wouldn't be complete without parents showing up to interrupt it. There's no fairy tale beginning here, no dramatic declaration, just a confused kid quietly thrilled that the person he likes might actually like him back. Because young love doesn't begin with confidence, it begins with chaos and the tiniest hint of hope. In The Date, it continues when Gumball is thrilled to finally go on a date with Penny. He prepares obsessively, getting dating advice from his mom, bad dating advice from his dad, etiquette lessons from Anais, even training for unexpected events with Darwin. He wants to get it right, he wants to be worthy. But when he arrives at Penny's house, he discovers the date is actually a memorial service for her pet tarantula, Mr. Cuddles. And Gumball, completely unprepared, screams when he sees a picture of the tarantula. Penny is hurt. Her whole family is furious. It's a disaster, but even in the middle of everything going wrong, Gumball tries. He finds the supposedly dead spider, gets bitten trying to prove it's alive, and ends up in the hospital. Penny forgives him, because even clumsy effort still means something. In The Meddler, Gumball is still trying to figure out how to talk to Penny, when his mother decides that she'll do it for him. Sweet, right? Except her version of attention includes hiding in his locker, chasing off bullies, and yes, publicly burping him like a baby at school lunch. At first, her meddling kind of works. She helps Gumball stand up to Tina. She even flatters Penny with the classic,
He'd like to take you out on a date. That's not true. He loves you.
but Gumball's not ready to be that vulnerable. So he panics and blurts out,
No, I don't! I don't love Penny and I never will!
Penny runs off sad, and Nicole, still thinking she's helping, offers one more tip. That's when Gumball snaps and tells her to go home. And for once, Nicole listens. But then comes the realization. He does like Penny. He just didn't know how to say it, and now everything is messed up. So what does Gumball do? He tries out for the cheer squad. He'll beat Penny at her own game so that she'll realize how manly and awesome he is. And somehow, it works. and not in the way it was supposed to, but it works. Penny gets on the team. She beams with joy. She sees through the chaos and realizes that he did it all for her. And in one of the episode's most touching moments, Gumball, sobbing into his mom's arms, finally admits it.
You do like me.
Ponies. I think that means yes.
Because for all the awkwardness, the panic, the denial, that's what young love is about. Messing up, trying again, and having someone like Nicole who knows when to step in and when to step back. By now, Gumball's not just smitten, he's desperate to prove himself worthy of Penny's love. In the nights, that desperation takes shape during a medieval school assignment, during which Gumball scrambles to impress Penny's overprotective dad, Patrick, with mixtapes, jogging towels, and even billboard vandalism. Spoiler, none of it works. Patrick hates him more with each gesture. But when Tobias challenges Gumball to a duel for Penny's affection, it's no longer about impressing a parent. It's about fighting for love. Literally. In a ridiculous brawl with garbage cans, broomsticks, and schoolyard dramatics, right when things are about to get out of hand, Gumball does something real. He jumps in front of Patrick's car to save Penny. And that finally earns Patrick's respect. Their arc continues to go like that for a while. Gumball gets jealous when Penny is hanging out with Leslie, and they have little arguments, but the real revelation comes in the episode The Shell, where Gumball and Penny's entire relationship changes in a single, terrifying, vulnerable moment. It begins with a school play, Beauty and the Beast. Gumball plays the Beast, Penny plays Belle, and in the final scene, Penny improvises.
Now that the fairy's curse has been lifted, we can finally seal our love with a kiss.
Gumball panics and headbutts her by accident. It's a disaster, funny, awkward, and very on brand for them, but it's not just stage fright. It's the moment where everything starts to crack. Literally, backstage, they realize that Gumball's accidental headbutt put a fracture in Penny's shell, and for the first time, we see something glowing inside, something Penny's been hiding. She doesn't want to talk about it though, not with Gumball, not with Darwin. She's afraid of what her father will say, because Penny is not just hiding a secret, she's hiding herself. And when they arrive at her house, that fear is confirmed. Patrick sees the crack and instantly panics. He doesn't ask how she's feeling, he just says,
"You don't know what you want, Penny."
And that's it. Penny's shut away. Again, not for what she did, but for what she is. That night, Gumball can't eat, he can't walk, he just lies in bed, hurt, confused, and ashamed. He wanted to kiss her, he wanted to be there for her, but all he managed to do was break things. Then Penny shows up at his window. She tells him her dad is sending her away. And Gumball says the only thing that could matter.
Be yourself. Come out of your shell.
So she does. Penny steps out of her shell and becomes something the shows never let us see. Her real self. A radiant, glowing winged creature that looks nothing like a peanut with antlers. Her transformation is beautiful. And Gumball, he's speechless. And that's the problem. Penny sees his silence and assumes the worst.
I'm a disgusting devil.
Her emotions spiral. And because Penny is a shapeshifter, so does her form. A gremlin, a fist, a bunny. Every fear she has about being rejected made real. And all Gumball can do is run after her again and again, trying to tell her how he really feels.
Penny, let me finish. Please stop writing.
Even when her father calls her a monster, he stands up for her.
Now, with all due respect, I'm gonna have to ask you to shut up. Think about what you've done. Do you realize you were wrong?
Even when she flies away, even when pest control shows up, Gumball doesn't stop. He literally crashes through buildings just to hold on to her. And when he finally finds her in the forest, exhausted, afraid, and in her wolf form, she asks the question that she'd been carrying all episode.
But do you really think you could love?
And Gumball answers her, not with a speech, not with a joke, but with the thing he's been too nervous to do since everything began. He kisses her. Everything settles. Penny stops changing, she returns to her real form. She feels safe now, seen, beautiful, because finally someone told her she was. Their families arrive and watch silently as the two of them float together, glowing, smiling, complete. And yes, Richard points out the obvious.
She was a monster, but he made her beautiful with his love, like in their play, but backward.
Anais rolls her eyes. Everyone already figured that out. But that's what makes it perfect, because The Shell isn't just the story of Penny breaking free, it's the story of both of them dropping the act. Gumball finally stops avoiding love, stops hiding behind jokes, social pressure, denial, and fear, and Penny stops pretending she's someone she isn't. And through that real vulnerability, they meet each other honestly for the first time. This isn't a crush anymore, this is love. Not because it's grand, but because it's brave. After the kiss though, things don't get easier, they get real. In the burden, Gumball and Penny are finally a couple, and it's obvious that Gumball is feeling the pressure. This is his first real relationship, and he's desperate to prove he can handle it. He gets dressed up for Penny, does his hair, and is immediately confronted with the fact that falling in love isn't just about you and your other half, it's about your friends and family as well.
I'm doing my hair for the date.
Oh, cool. What should I wear?
Darwin is used to spending a lot of time with Gumball, and when he's suddenly excluded, he feels hurt. That's the real burden here. Gumball's off having the perfect date with a literal ball of hair as a wingman. Later, Darwin is stuck at home, talking to that same hairball like it's his therapist. He opens up about his fears.
Things have changed. It used to just be me and him versus the world. But now all he cares about is
About how he really wants Gumball to be happy, but he just wishes he could be part of it. It's raw, and it's real. Eventually, the two of them reconnect for a little while. Not through some grand brotherly romantic gesture, but by bonding over a shared delusion. And even when the truth is finally revealed, that the hamster was just a clump of Principal Brown's waxed off body hair, they laugh about it together. This episode isn't about romance, but it's about what romance does to friendship, and how growing up often means rebalancing your connections. Love doesn't erase what came before, but if you're not careful, it can accidentally push it aside. And that's exactly what happens in The Bros. It starts innocently enough. Gumball is giddy again about his next date. He's thinking about the perfect moment, where it'll be, who it'll be with, and how magical it'll feel. But when Darwin hears Penny as the answer to Gumball's who in his dream scenario and not Darwin, everything cracks. Not because he wants to date Gumball, but because he's losing him as his friend, as his bro. Darwin isn't just being clingy, he's grieving a version of their friendship that feels like it no longer fits. And the more Gumball tries to grow up, the more Darwin regresses. He ruins the cafeteria date, he pelts Penny with basketballs, and eventually causes them to separate for a while. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, but it's also real. Because growing up doesn't just create space for new love, it forces you to renegotiate your oldest ones. Eventually, Gumball confesses. He was going to propose. A childishly grand gesture for someone who still doesn't know how to be in a relationship, or how to juggle love and friendship without letting one of them collapse. Darwin responds not with judgment, but support, as an effort to make things right after he pushed them apart. He sets the scene for Gumball to propose, builds the moment, and when everything goes comically wrong, he drags Gumball out of the burning shed, literally squishing his face to get the words out. And Penny, to her credit, doesn't say yes.
We're 12 years old.
Instead, she turns it into something they can all share. A bro wedding. A moment of emotional reconciliation between brothers and best friends, and not romantic partners. The Bros is about growing pains. It's about being 12 and feeling like your emotions are adult-sized, even when they're still figuring themselves out. And it reminds us that love doesn't need to be exclusive. Romantic love, platonic love, found family. You don't have to choose, but you do have to make room. After the chaos of exploding sheds and several failed proposals, Gumball should have learned that romance can't be forced, that he'd take a breath, let things grow naturally. Nope. In The Romantic, a single emoji sends him spiraling. Penny used to send 3 heart eye emojis. Now, just 1. And in Gumball's mind, that's basically a breakup. Can't blame him though, I used to think the same. He doesn't talk to her about it, he doesn't ask. Instead, he plans a citywide romantic scavenger hunt. It starts simple. Gary delivers a mysterious note to Penny. She's intrigued. Cute even, a little mystery. Then she walks into the mall, and everyone goes insane around her. A flash mob follows, people chanting in unison. A fully choreographed number in the middle of the food court. Penny plays along, but you can feel her confusion growing. Then Rocky picks her up in the school bus and reads a love poem while driving. They crash directly into the school. And it only gets worse from there. A science experiment turns into a chemical monster. Gumball confuses dessert with desert, sending Penny into the actual wilderness. She eats ice cream that she's allergic to, because of course Gumball hid an allergy pill in a cherry like that was a solid medical plan. By the time she's in the forest dodging bears and turning into shape-shifting panic creatures, she's had enough. And what triggered all of this?
It was because you only used 1 heart emoji instead of 3.
And that's when Penny snaps. Not because she's mad at Gumball, but because she finally understands something important. This boy cares. Too much. So much that he turns affection into anxiety, love into labor, and in trying to impress her, he keeps missing her. She tells him, gently and firmly, to stop the grand gestures, to stop trying so hard, just be with her. And that's the irony of young love. It makes you want to go big, but sometimes what someone really needs is small, something calm, something honest. And in the final shot, as fireworks explode in the sky, his face lit up in literal pixels, she gives him a look. A tired smile, a little forgiveness. Because young love doesn't thrive on drama, it survives in the moments after. When you mess up, own it, and still show up again tomorrow. And this is only the beginning. There's so much more to say about Gumball and Penny, their awkward growth, miscommunications, and tiny victories. Love at that age isn't one big story. It's a bunch of little ones strung together by heart emojis, panic attacks, and learning to listen. But that's a tale for part 2. Let me know in the comments if you want to see it, because their further growth, it's just getting started. And if you want to look for something to watch in the meantime, check out our video on what Finn and PB teach about one-sided love. It's something you don't want to miss. See you there.